Surely this thing was on everybody's wish list back then in 1987. Today's toy review number 125, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Vintage Series, the Turtle Blimp. The original Turtle Blimp that's got kind of the Mirage comic feel to it with all the design on it, all the detailing, which is pretty nice on the balloon. I mean, there really is some good detail on the glider itself, but really, I mean, that's just the glider. All the attention goes to the balloon itself, because that's pretty much what makes up the blimp. Without the balloon, I mean, it's not a blimp, it's a glider. So yeah, there's that. But anyway, never did have this when I was a kid. Never did. I wasn't really a big Ninja Turtle fan back then until after I saw Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, The Secret of the Ooze, which these figures came by pretty much, the movie star edition. Now there is another Turtle Blimp that was released a few years later, re-released in a different color for more of the tie-in to the cartoon series itself. It was called the Turtle Blimp Model 2, or just plain simple Turtle Blimp 2. I only know a few people who actually had it, and it wasn't that bad. I mean, it did look very cartoonish, but it wasn't accurate. It was close to it, but it wasn't accurate. Like, for instance, the glider itself in the show was more of a silver color, or gray, because it was made of metal. But, I mean, the blimp, or not the blimp, but the glider itself for the Model 2 blimp was actually this color, or if anything, it was a darker shade of green, so that's not right. And the blimp alone, the design on it, was more out of the ways of the cartoon series. While it was the right color, the design of it, the detailing, just wasn't accurate. So yeah, I mean, if you're trying to go for show accuracy, I say that one is the better pick. But really, if you want to save yourself a couple of shiny pennies, get this one, because this one is a lot better. Now, my version, on the other hand, is used, as you can see on the camera. It's pretty old. It's pretty dirty. I have not cleaned it ever since I got it. Haven't taken any wipes to it whatsoever, so it's got all this dust and dirt. It's probably even showing up on the camera. But I'll take care of all that after this review, because when it's all said and done, this thing's going back right on its display stand right after I give it a good cleaning. So, why I didn't do that before the review, I have no idea. Don't ask me why. I guess it just gives more of a vintage look when it's all dirty, like it's been through combat, like it was in the show. Pretty much, it always went through combat, and if anything, it always got shot down, if I recall. So, yeah, the Turtles always had to have that emergency eject, where they always had to eject from the blimp itself, the balloon. The glider would come separately and just glide down to the surface of the earth. So, yeah, I'm not going to show that off, even though it does do that, because it's being held in by these little suctions right here. Maybe another one somewhere around here in the center, as you can see. I mean, it does come separately, but due to the fact that it would take me too long to pop this sucker back in, and the only way to do that is to deflate it, pop them back in, and then re-inflate it. It just takes too much time, and I don't have time to show that off on the camera, and I'm not going to show it off at all, so you just have to find somebody else's review in order to see that. But hopefully somebody does have one, because as far as I know, nobody's done it yet, and I don't plan on doing it either, because like I said, it wastes time, like I'm doing right now since I'm stuttering. So, enough about that. It's at your own risk, though, because if you overfill it, you might actually break the stitching and pop the balloon. So be very, very careful with these things, because they are very old, very delicate, and I guess you could say they're kind of fragile, because, I mean, it's like a balloon. Maybe a little stronger than an actual balloon, but, I mean, it is pretty much just a balloon. So be very careful with it. But what is the Turtle Blimp without some gimmicks? Well, let's get to the gimmicks now, shall we? Pretty much it's on wheels, if you can hear that, because of mine being a used version, it's pretty squeaky after a while. It feels nice to me. It's a sign of relief from what I go through at work. Anyway, there's that. It pretty much works on wheels. It's got this rotating turret here at the front where, I mean, if you sit a Ninja Turtle figure on it, like for instance Michelangelo, in the turret, just to give him a little more support. And for a while it works, but when you move it around too much, he may actually let go after a while. So it would have been nice if they actually had a belt, but, you know, whatever. If it works, it works, and that's good enough for me. The Blimp alone also has a couple. And then, of course, for weapons, it's got, you know, dropping missiles, I guess you could say, or bombs. So yeah, it's got like a total of 6 bombs, maybe 7 during the original release. Simple enough. All you do is just peg them into these little holes right here. It is a little old. Like I said, this is a used version. This is not one that I had when I was a child. This is one I've had for 2 months now. I got off of eBay in a used condition. But, I mean, at least it still works and it's got all its accessories, right? So yeah. Anyway, you just squeeze the trigger gently and all the missiles drop one by one or maybe 2 or 4 at the same time. But as you can see, due to age, the trigger gets caught when it's pushed back all the way. So if you try to put these missiles or these bombs back in, they don't. You can't put them back in. In order to do that, you would have to pull the trigger back to reset. So yeah. I mean, that's it for the accessories and the gimmicks. I mean, that's it. It's got wheels, it's got dropping bombs, it's got some support for other Ninja Turtle figures alone. And I guess also other accessories is the fact that it's got real plastic fins on it, as you can see. Maybe it would puncture a hole or something. But the way that they have these attached is very cool. Very cool. I mean, I really like the way this actually came out. And when you've got it inflated completely, they actually do stand up straight. Like the back one and the bottom one and the sides. They are standing pretty straight. It is a little tilted at the time because, I mean, like I said, it's running out of air in some places. But for the time that the air has actually been sitting in, this time for its second run, unlike the first time when I first got it, it only lasted a week before I had to inflate it again. But this time it's been almost 3 to 4 weeks, almost a whole entire month that this air has been sitting in here. And it's only lost a little bit. So obviously something has been done right this time. So yeah. That's pretty much it, guys. I mean, I really don't have anything else to say, but I can show you all the detail on this thing before we end the review. So, yeah, here's a look at both the sides of the Turtle Blimp. There's the exhaust engine, which is pretty cool, very nicely detailed. Got a shade of shadow right there to make it look like it's standing out in 3D, as if like it's a separate piece on the Blimp, which, of course, it's not. So, yeah. There's the upper side. Pretty much just the opposite on the upper side. Pretty much there's a control center right there. There's a control center right here. And as you can see, my only real complaint about this thing is that the panels are not lined up. As you can see, the stitching was done incorrectly all the way around the whole entire Blimp. None of the panel linings actually line up properly because of the way that it was not stitched correctly. Can I blame a person? I don't know. Should I blame a machine? Maybe so. Because isn't that what makes toys these days? It's just a machine. So yeah, I don't think toys are done by hand anymore. Unless it's pressing a keyboard. So yeah. So there's pretty much all the detail on the thing and the design. And that's pretty much the end of the review of the Turtle Blimp. Can I recommend this to you guys? Obviously, if you're a big Ninja Turtle fan, yes. I can recommend it. If you guys want the original, then yeah, sure, by all means go for it. But if you guys really feel like spending that shiny penny just to get the Model 2 version, which is going about for maybe $250 to $350 on eBay, well, you know what, that's totally up to you. More the power to you guys, and good luck with that decision. So yeah, that's it. That is the end review of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 1987 Turtle Blimp, the original. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below. I'll answer them when I have time. If you guys are wondering if I'm going to review the movie star figures, well, I guess you'll just have to wait and see, right? So, yeah, that's a story for another day. And that is me, RedisPower Sonic Ranger, signing out. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and I will see you next time. Take care.